Hey guys, coming to you guys to talk about something a little bit different that's on my mind, that has been on my mind. Wrote a paper on it, and it came about in my English class, talking about Harry Potter. But what really started it was the topics about pop culture, its effect on society, the ways that it's in, just about everything. And then it really kind of shed a different light on something that is a worldwide phenomenon known as Harry Potter. Not known as anything, it is Harry Potter. Anyways, but I wrote a paper recently on uh, the way that J.K. Rowling exploited gender inequality in society in the Harry Potter series, and it really came to my attention when we started to analyze passages, analyze different meanings of different things, in the way that some things are symbolic of others. One of the major gender inequalities um, that I noticed in Harry Potter was in the arena of power. There is countless examples of how the male dominates this arena. First of all, you have the person who is seen as, I guess, the most powerful, all-knowing wizard in Albus Dumbledore. Unquestionably, the most powerful wizard in the series. Even after he dies, he's still influencing people and their decisions, especially Harry. And you got the self-proclaimed um, most powerful wizard of all, and that's Voldemort. And then you have Harry, somebody who's powerful, not because of necessarily the power of their spells or the power that they have of people, but because of the love that he receives from people like his mother, his father, people around him. Regardless, it's still he makes him a very powerful wizard. You don't really see a lot of power in Harry Potter when it comes to the female aspect. I mean, one could argue that you have Dolores Umbridge, who is, becomes the headmistress of Hogwarts. But then you also have to think of the other side of things. She was only given that position because of the Minister of Magic, who was being controlled by Voldemort at the time. So really, that's not power. That's just her being a pawn in a game between two powerful men or three powerful men, if you count Albus and Harry as two people. So that to me was like night and day, kind of. I mean, one on another. I mean, kind of female power. Depending on how you look at what power really is, would be Floor. Floor could be considered to have power because of her effect on men, or yeah, effect on boys, I guess you could say, like Ron and Harry. When she walks by them, leaves them speechless. That could be considered power. However, some people wouldn't. So that would be up for debate, depending on who would be reading it and such and such. I thought this played right along with society, because you see our president is a male. There's never been a female president. And I think furthermore, you see in the business world, yes, women are very slowly but surely coming onto the scene, but there's only three major or three CEOs that are women of Fortune 500 companies as of the most recent survey that I looked at. So I mean, you see this power in Harry Potter between the Prime Minister, Albus, Voldemort, Minister of Magic, Harry. I mean, you see a lot of powerful figures such as like Victor Crumb. You see all these powerful figures, and they're male. They're not. There's not really a powerful female figure. The only one that you could argue for maybe Bellatrix, but once again, she's under Voldemort. So I think that this kind of is symbolic, not symbolic, parallel to society, in the aspect that, like, the most powerful people are generally, not always, because I don't want to, I'm not biased or anything, but generally a male. So I thought that was very interesting. The next concept that I analyzed is the concept of knowledge. I thought this was a female-dominated arena of the Harry Potter series, because you have people like Hermione, who are always raising their hand in class, always in the library. She's eager to learn. She's eager to be the first one in class, eager to prove to her professors that she is the number one student or she's the most prepared, whatever it may be. And then you also have the majority of the influential professors in Harry's life, I'm not gonna say Harry's life, in the series, like McGonagall. I mean, Trelawney was very like weird, is she? Yes, but she was still influential. You have all these people, Professor Sprout, like these are women, and they're taking on the nurturing aspect that a teacher would bring. Yes, the defense against the dark arts teachers did play major roles in the series, but they weren't necessarily based on the concept of knowledge. They were based around the concept of power, I guess you could say, because that was just a very sought after position. I mean, like there were professors that were obviously in that position that like Gilderoy Lockhart that obviously didn't deserve that position, that obviously weren't knowledgeable. So I would say that as far as Harry Potter goes in the series, and as far as knowledge goes, that the women were it was a dominated characteristic by women, and I thought this was interesting because you know parallel to society, I mean you see a lot of teachers, and I'm not trying to be biased, but you see a lot of teachers in the high school, elementary level are women. They are, which is exactly what I would consider Harry Potter to be, is very elementary to high school or middle school to high school education, and certainly was in college. So I thought that this was very interesting and very parallel to society, much like we see in elementary, middle school, and high school. Majority of teachers are females. So I thought that was played right along the lines of um, of of society. And then third concept that I wanted to cover was the attitude between the genders and like their ambitions and such. You have Harry, who is the star, I guess you could say, of the series, most important character, who wants to grow up and be an Auror, which is a very, I guess you could kind of say like a soldier, maybe like a general. An Auror is something that is seen as a very um, courageous role to take on in the magic world. And I thought this was interesting because, like, you see a lot of men who want to prove like themselves, I guess, want to be, soldiers, generals, stuff like that. And I thought that was interesting. Furthermore, you have like the attitude of Ron and Harry while they're in school. You see them, yeah, I mean, they're focused on school, like they study when they need to, they study when there are exams, owls, such and such. But I mean, if they had a choice between going and watching a Quidditch match or going and sitting, it's obviously going to be the Quidditch match. And I mean, that's not like anything bad. That's just the general attitude that the male had. And then you see Hermione, which is like the prominent teenage female character in the movie. I mean, you had Luna as well, but we'll talk about Luna later. Who always spent her time studying, who always spent her time in books, reading because that's what she enjoyed. It was just a different attitude for her. Yes, Quidditch was fun. She went to the games and supported Harry and Ron, but she loved her books. She loved learning. Another aspect of attitude that you can see is kind of dealing with the Aurora. Is like you have the women's side, like you have Miss Weasley in the book. Miss Weasley is a character in the book who is very content with staying at home, watching over the house, watching over the kids, making sure everything's taken care of, being a very nurturing character throughout the series. That I think is, I mean, I don't think that the stay-at-home mom is as prominent today as it may have used to be, but I mean, it's still around. You still hear the phrase stay-at-home mom a lot more than you hear the phrase stay-at-home dad, and I think it kind of plays in the attitude. I mean, you have Mr. Weasley who goes to work every day, is very, very eager to go into work every day, learn about the Muggles. He's very interested in the work that he does, and I think that kind of plays into the Auroras like Harry. I mean, you got Harry and Lupin and Mad Eye. These are all Auroras. They're all males. They're all wanting to go out there, go to the battle. I think that's just the difference in attitude is another key concept between the gender inequalities. However, throughout the book, you want to find, just like throughout life, you want to see that one person that really doesn't abide by these stereotypes, doesn't have these preconceived aspirations and such. And J.K. Rowling in this book offered a solution to all these stereotypes, to the power stereotype, the knowledge stereotype, the attitude stereotype, the gender stereotype, and that is Luna Lovegood. That is the character. She is the person that doesn't see somebody for their gender, doesn't see somebody for their race, doesn't see somebody for their age. She sees the person for the person. She doesn't judge the person based on any of those things. She gives them all a fair chance, and it's ironic because she's the one that is ridiculed the most. She's the one that is seen as the weird person, the outcast person, and she's only really accepted by a few people. I mean, Ron, Hermione, Harry, you know. So I thought that was very ironic that, here we have this girl who is pretty much a mold of what society should be like, and she's the one that is constantly just made fun of and ridiculed. And I think that may be the case for society today. I mean, you see a lot of people who are non-judgmental getting judged, and I think that may be the reason why we are today, why we are the way we are. Um, I know based on, and I thought this is when I was reading one of my friend's papers, um, talks about, like, how we were born into this, and I think to a certain extent we are, because it's not necessarily we're born and we come out and we're automatically like that. No, it's we're born into a society that has these preconceived differences. We have this society that when you come out, it's male and female. Males have the power, females are the teachers, blah blah blah. It's that stereotype that is what is getting us into trouble. We're teaching our kids at a young age that there are these differences. There are such things as races, plural. There are such things as genders, plural. When in reality there is a human gender, there is a human race, and that's what we need to be teaching in order for there to be that way. And that is why I think Luna is the way she is. We get a glimpse of her father, and he's the same way as her. He's very open-minded. He's a very free-spirited individual. He doesn't judge people based on how they look or what gender they are. And I think that's where we as society have to get to. And I think it's imperative that we get to that, because until we get to that, we're going to have these problems with race. We're going to have these problems with gender, and it has to be addressed in order for it to be changed. And so those are the key elements of Harry Potter that not a lot of people, I think, get to view. Not a lot of people, they just read it and it's all, flashing light, magic, this wonder world, butterbeer. It's this awe-inspiring thing. But when you really get down to the nitty-gritty, I think that it can teach us something. It shows us definitely some of the problems in society, because gender inequality is a problem. When people are stereotyped based on their gender, it is a huge problem. But then it also offers a solution that we just have to learn from. And I think that if everybody can maybe take a few steps being that towards being that Luna Lovegood, then maybe we can see some differences in the way people say certain things and the way people view certain people and stuff like that. But it has to be addressed that there is a problem for us to change. So I mean, you guys can comment. I'm gonna leave a link to the Tumblr that I have, where I kind of talk about this in a little bit different fashion. And then if you're on FSU's campus, you could probably go into a bathroom in Stroz, male bathrooms. I wasn't weird and went into the female bathrooms, male bathrooms in Stroz, and there should be one over the urinal. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this. Gave you a little bit of a different spin on Harry Potter, and it made you kind of think in a different light how certain things could go if we were just to take those few simple, small steps towards not gender profiling. I guess would be the phrase. All right, you guys have a good day.